ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਹੈ ਜਿਹਬੇ ਹੈ ਰਸਗੇ ਮਧੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਿਆ ਤੋਅੰ। ਸਤ ਹਤੰ ਪਰਮ ਬਾਦੰ ਅਵਰਤ ਏਥਹ ਸੁਧ ਅਛਰਣਹ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਦਾਮੋਦਰ ਮਾਧਵੇ ਸਤ ਹਤੰ ਪਰਮ ਬਾਦੰ ਅਵਰਤ ਏਥਹ ਸੁਧ ਅਛਰਣਹ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਦਾਮੋਦਰ ਮਾਧਵੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, we've all just listened to the 62nd Salok of Guru Arjun Dev Ji Pacha Ji from Bani. Salok Sehaskriti. In this Salok, Guru Arjun Dev Ji Pacha Ji is talking to the tongue. To that tongue, that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji say that is the rasage. Sangat Ji, the rasage meaning the one that has the ability to taste. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji say here, kende he jihbe, kende oh tongue. Jihbe means tongue. Kende he rasage. Rasage means, Sangat Ji, that they're saying, hey, that one, that tongue that has the taste buds within it, that tongue that actually has that ability to taste. And Sangat Ji, if we look at that in a bit more detail, that we've got the here jihbe Sangat Ji, which has two jobs. Well, if we look into it in the sense of a jihbe, the tongue, it's two main jobs. So the tongue, Sangat Ji, helps us. So it's also what we call a karma indri. Karma indri, Sangat Ji, means, so the word karma meaning action. So meaning the tongue is something that also forms an action, meaning via speech. Because the tongue helps us to put together speech, to put together words. As the tongue touches different parts of our mouth, it helps us to form letters and then form words. So it's a karma indri. Indri, Sangat Ji, means sense or organ, we can call it. So it's an organ that creates a action. And the other thing is, so when Pacha Ji say here, hey rasage, the rasage are talking about the taste buds. And now, Sangat Ji, it's said that there's approximately about 10,000 taste buds that we have within our, not just tongue. So the taste buds are on our tongue and at the top of our mouth. And we've got taste buds in our throat area as well. So there's taste buds in those three areas. But singing the here rasage, oh taste buds and oh tongue. So that's two different things. Taste buds, Sangat Ji, is a Gyan Indri. Gyan Indri is something that gives us wisdom, something that gives us knowledge, tells us, gives information back to the brain. So Pacha Ji here is saying, kende he jehbe he rasage. Kende this something that you really enjoy, isn't there? Pacha Ji saying, oh taste buds. And even the whole process of taste, it actually starts, Sangat Ji, not purely from the actual taste buds themselves. It actually starts from our smell sense first. So that ability to be able to smell different types of food. So depending on how, because the way it actually works is, the way our taste buds actually tell us the taste of something. It starts from being able to smell something first. So the taste buds will actually get ready and be prepared for if something is sour. Just from the smell, that smell will have in its memory if something is sour, and it will give that preparation to the taste buds. And then it's actually the saliva. The saliva helps to break the food down, and the saliva actually is the one that helps to perceive the actual taste. So if the taste is sweet, sour, salty or bitter, that's the main 4 different tastes that they say that actually it's divided into those 4 different types of tastes. And so the saliva is the one that perceives and then gives the information to the taste bud. So what something is. Sangat ji, this is how that process works. So often enough that we talk about how these actually can be so negative and how they can be controlling. But actually, Sangat ji, you know, when we say that Waheguru Ji is our protector, how we say that one of the Shaktiyan of Waheguru Ji, one of the powers of Waheguru Ji is that sustaining power, the one that takes care of us. And we often say that the Tre Murti, so the 3 Shaktiyan of Waheguru Ji, one that is said to be Brahma. So Sangat ji, it's not that Brahma is an entity, it's just talking about the creative power of Waheguru Ji. And then we talk about Vishnu, but Vishnu actually is just Waheguru Ji's sustaining power. And how is it that Waheguru Ji is taking care of us? Sometimes we're actually thinking that Waheguru Ji doesn't take care of me. But Waheguru Ji is forever the protector. Sangat ji, just from it, this journey begins. Just from that moment, we actually have the ability to actually smell something. The moment, Sangat ji, we actually smell something, what happens? The moment we smell something, that protector kicks in. That sustaining Waheguru Ji kicks in. How? It tells us if a food has gone off. Before the eyes can even sometimes see the mold, but this sense of smell will tell us. This happens. How many times has this happened? The samosas have gone off because of the heat and it's somebody's wedding. But the nose will tell us first. It will protect us from putting that inside of even this mouth. Because as soon as we put it into this mouth, the digestive cycle actually starts. So Sangat ji, in that way, Waheguru Ji is our protector. That's why in this same Pangati, Pacha ji calls that Waheguru Ji Gobind. Gobind, Sangat ji, is translated to that Waheguru Ji that is our protector. It's got many different translations as well, but one of the translation is that go Sangat ji can translate to the Tarti, to the earth, and Bind meaning the protector of this earth, the protector of this world. Remember, there's the world of our body, that one that protects this in that same way. So before we even talk about the negative of it, of when it starts to control us, but think about the purpose that it holds. Why do we call Waheguru Ji Gobind, Gopal, that one that takes care of us? Because Sangat ji, and then what else does it tell us? The sense that when we can feel something, the touch sense, how they all work together. It'll tell us if something is too hot. As soon as we put it into this mouth, that touch sense will tell us if it's too hot, because if it's too hot, it'll actually cause problems. It'll damage our food pipe, our esophagus pipe. It can cause problems and damage the stomach. When we drink something too hot, it can start affecting the lining of our esophagus, and over time it could cause inflammation. And Sangat ji, look at that, how Waheguru Ji is our protector. As soon as we put something into our mouth, we can taste it and we can know if something isn't right, if something is too bitter, sour, and it could be that some food has gone off. It doesn't taste right. It's got an ingredient in there that shouldn't be eaten, that isn't actually edible, and that will cause damage to our system. And the moment it's there, the taste of that will tell us that, and that way we can reject it as well. Look at how Vaheguru Ji is constantly protecting us through our senses. Through those, they are made in that way. That Vaheguru Ji is there, the sustainer. We often say that, has that Vishnu got a form? Sangat Ji, whether that Vishnu's got a form or not, what we do know is that Sache Paatshah Ji tell us that Eka Mai, Jugat Viyai, Tin Chele Parvan, Ek Sansari, that one, the one himself is Ek Sansari, is the one that creates Ek Sansari, Ek Pandari. Pandari meaning the sustainer, the one that is taking care of us, Sangat Ji. We read this every day in the Jap Ji. Ek Sansari, Ek Pandari, Ek Lae, Diban, the one that sets up the court to bring something to an end. So Sangat Ji, that is, it's Vaheguru Ji at all times, but it's about us having, if that comes into our consciousness, and if then that becomes our Simran. We talk about how does Vaheguru Ji protect me. The next time you're able to smell something that is off, you'll say, I just had darshan of Vaheguru Ji in the form of my sustainer. And we can say Vaheguru. So, ao pyareo Sangat Ji, Paatshah Ji कहने Madhur Preya Toang, कहने Tenu, Toang Tenu, you. कहने what is it for you, Vaheguru Ji? कहने Madhur. Madhur meaning sweet. कहने Madhur Preya meaning beloved. कहने what is it that is so beloved to you? What is it that you enjoy and like so much? And Toang talking about to the tongue. कहने Madhur, things that are sweet. And Sangat Ji, I was thinking about this. Obviously, a lot of us have a sweet tooth and we enjoy things that are sweet, but there's many of things that they're not necessarily sweet, but they are sweet for us. So there might be some form of, there could be a salty food, but because we enjoy it so much, it's sweet to us. So they're saying Madhur Preya Tong, there's so many, those things that are sweet are so beloved to you. Sat Hatang, but what this tongue was supposed to be about, instead this tongue has ended up controlling you, and it's controlling you in such a way. Just these taste buds, these 10,000 taste buds are controlling you so much. They're making you overweight, they are making you obese, they are causing diabetes, they are causing cancer, just because of not being able to control that taste, those taste buds. And look at what's happening to me. Look at what I'm becoming overweight. It's affecting my back. It's causing me so many problems to even sit down on a floor cross-legged. Why? Just because of those taste buds. Because they have gotten a hold of me now. But Paatshah Ji कहने what was this tongue actually for? कहने what should it have been doing? What if it's as the tongue as a Karam Indri, as a organ that creates an action, what action should it have been doing? Paatshah Ji कहने Sat Hatang, it's not done that. Instead, it's let go of. It's brought death. Hatang means death. It's actually killed what? Sat. It's killed the truth. This tongue was supposed to be to actually speak the truth, meaning Sach bolana, and not just speaking the truth, but speaking truthfully, meaning being in line, and not actually slandering, not gossiping, not being bitter in that way. But instead, what I've done to this tongue that spoke sweetly with compassion, words of compassion, Sangat Ji, I put up today on my status, that listen, it was a quote from Rumi, who was a Sufi saint, and who said, listen with the ears of tolerance. He said, speak with the tongue of love, with the language of love. And he said, look with the eyes of compassion. But Sat Hatang, I've actually I've killed that truthfulness that came from this tongue. Instead, this tongue, it gets caught up in all sorts of badang. Badang Sangat Ji mean Vad Vivad. Vad Vivad Sangat Ji meaning in all sorts of arguments, always ready to kick off and argue and debate and bring other people down. Param Badang. Paatshah Ji कहने लगे, what was this tongue for? It was for अवरत etha Shuddha Acharana. Sangat Ji, Acharana means letters. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this was given in Sanskrit. When we say this word together, ਅਵਰਤ ਇੱਥਾ, Professor Sahib Singh Ji has translated that to reciting something again and again, over and over again. And what is that? Is those are what? Sud Achar, are pure letters that form pure words. What pure words? Pachaji kende Gobind. This tongue was to appreciate Gobind, the one that is taking care of us, the one that is looking after us all the time, and actually realizing what these senses were actually for, what these organs were actually for, what they've been made for. Why have I been given taste buds? Why have I given the ability to be able to taste, to be able to feel different temperatures, different tastes? And then can they Gobind? Can they always be reciting words like Gobind? These are the pure words that you can be reciting. Gobind, meaning always remember with this tongue and appreciate with this tongue the one that is protecting you. And then always can they Daamodar. Daamodar Sangaji is a beautiful word. Often it was used for Krishna Ji. Krishna Ji, why Sangat Ji? Because it comes from the word over here, Udar. The second part is Udar Sangaji, Udar meaning stomach. And then Damo, the first part of it meaning Dam meaning rope. Because that Krishna Ji's mother, not the mother that actually gave birth to him, the one that took care of him as a young child, as a young boy, Yashoda, what happened? Because Krishna Ji was so playful in their youth that they would go out and always eat makhan, eat clarified butter from other people's homes. So just to stop her child from running around and eating butter at other people's homes, Yashoda had put a rope around him so he wouldn't go around running around. Sangaji, so over here the word Daamodar is used for Vaheguru Ji. Vaheguru Ji meaning in which way? That Dar, Udar meaning stomach, and then Da meaning the world. That one that has the whole world in his stomach, meaning the one that is always taking care of us. Again, that's what Daamodar means. Maadhav Sangaji comes from the word Ma meaning Maya, Tave meaning Pati, the one that is in control of this Maya, in control of this whole creation in the laws that it works in. Can they let these be upon my tongue constantly again and again? And then Guru Arjun Dev Ji Paach Ji say to us, can they Garbant Nari Madon Matang. Fir Sache Paach Ji can lage, can they Garbant means Sangaji pride. Can they there's those people in this world that Garbant Nari Madon Matang. Can they just because of they think that they are so great, they have so much pride inside of them, because Madon Matang, because they are intoxicated in what? In Madon, in sexual desire, and having that ability, being able to become intoxicated and enjoy different sexual pleasures. That's what Madon means. With what? With Nari, with multiple women. Sangaji, and there's people like that just have so much pride inside of them over that. And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sache Paach Ji say, kende Balavant Balat Arjun. And Sangaji, and then they say that what do they have? How are they able to do that? Even though over here, if you look at the translation, it says and. But when we look at this deeper, there's actually no and in here. It should be a comma. If we look at the word balat means when you are being assertive, when you are being forceful, when you are ordering other people around to even do those things that they do not want to do without their consent. So balavant, because of the power you have. Karane means because of balavant, because of the power, the strength that you've got of being a man. This is talking about a man here. Have this strength, and because of being a man, what do you end up doing? You be balat. Balat meaning you be assertive. And I was really thinking about this, sitting down, when sitting in the garden today, really thinking about this balat. Sangaji, because today, and if you look at the word that is used in India for somebody that is a rapist, the word that is used is a balatkari. And for the word rape is balatkar. And it kind of just clicked. And I thought, reading the translation and asserting their power over others, and I thought, wow. You know, when something just kind of clicks, and I thought, you know what? That translation can quite throw you off, because it could make you think, now here, this is two separate things. This is talking about somebody that has pride in enjoying these sexual and enjoying these different sexual pleasures and being intoxicated with women. But this is this is actually a comma saying balavant balatkar, and saying that they're able to be assertive because of their strength and power. So two things here, having physical strength and having power in society, because often it was people that were powerful they had wealth, or they had power. Obviously they had wealth anyway, because they had power because there was some form of emperor, or they were a governor, or they were a chief of some sort of area. Or Sangaji, in today's world, if you want to say somebody that's got power, and that could be Sangaji, somebody like that has got that authority and has ended up becoming a pimp, or somebody that is living a certain way of life and living a so-called gangster life, and they've got power because of that, because of the things that they've got, because the things that they do in their life has got them a reputation. So for me, Sangaji, when I was looking at this deeper, this could be touching on the lines of people being assertive and getting to do these sexual things with women because of the power they have in society, or the strength. And balat could be even meaning that at times, yes, it's just because of their power they're getting to do these things, and they're quite assertive. And even though it may have been with consent, but it could have been quite assertive because of their power. But it could have been where Maharaj is also talking about without consent, where it's actually talking about rape, because that's the word actually that's used for rape now. Where those people that were raping because of taking advantage of their position in society, Sangatji, we know that how much that still happens. There's so many women trafficking that goes on, especially from developing countries. It's happening so much still in India, where there's complete areas that are dedicated to these type of things, that if you ask the women, are you happy doing this, they'll say no. And because of why? But they've got no, apparently, but they say they've got no other choice. So Sangatji, Baji is talking about here now those people that are so caught up in these type of things, because even power in itself is a great pleasure for somebody that actually can become the ruin of somebody. So Sache Pachaji here is saying, Charan Kamal Neh Pajant, they haven't at all meditated on the lotus feet of Vaheguruji. Trin Saman, Trig Janman, but you know their life, Guru Arjun Dev Ji Pachi, their life is equivalent. They might think they are powerful, but their life is equivalent to a trin, to something as flimsy as a blade of grass. Meaning actually they are the ones in society that are forcing themselves on others, they being assertive. And Sangaji Papachi, they are the ones that are like, they are weak. They're flimsy like that. How are they weak? Because they are weak. They are giving in. They have no control. They are giving in to their taste buds. They are giving in to their speech. They are giving in to their touch sense. They are giving in to sexual pleasure. because of that, they're just equivalent to a blade of grass. That's how small they are, Sache Paatshah Ji saying. When we look at Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah's Bani, when Sache Paatshah tell us about, when they say to us that hukmi hovan akar, hukm na kahya jai, hukmi hovan ji, hukm le vadiyai, hukmi uttam neech. Paatshah saying because of one's actions, one becomes high, meaning that one that is very pure, high meaning pure in the eyes of Vaheguruji. Uttam, neech, and then some become very lowly due to their actions. And Paatshah saying those people are the lowly people. They think they have power, but actually they are so weak. They're weak like that blade of grass. And they treat other human beings, it's because of their weakness. They are the ones that really need help in life. And that's why Paatshah Ji saying, kende jojo dise, so rogi, that whoever I see is actually diseased. Kende that who is beyond that rog rahat mera satguru jogi. Kende it's my guru that is a true renunciate, the one that is detached whilst living in this world, and the one that is beyond any of these diseases. But Paatshah kende that home rog manak ko dina, kende but that rog, that disease of ego has been given to man, and from that, look how many diseases that man has. Man meaning human, all humans. Look how much then they have. Disease of lust. And this is what Paatshah is talking about. They are the ones that are weak in society, and they are the ones that need the most help, because they are truly diseased in the mind. Fir Paatshah Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤ੍ਰਿਗ ਜਨਮਨਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ their life is janmane is cursed, meaning it's so low. Paatshah Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ हे papilka, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ oh little papilka, oh little ant, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ graste Gobind simran, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ people might see you as being weak, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ but actually ਕਹਿੰਦੇ true strength is having humility. Those that are humble from inside, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ like an ant, meaning the ant representing humbleness, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ those that have humbleness, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ hey papilke, oh that one that is humble. Paatshah Ji saying, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ graste Gobind simran, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you, if you've got the remembrance of God inside of you, because remember, if you've got the remembrance of God, having the remembrance of God, Sangat Ji, means that you have the power to overcome these senses, and then those will not lead into sin, into things like rape, into things like being forceful. Sangat Ji Paatshah ਕਹਿੰਦੇ हे papilka graste Gobind simran, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you've actually, graste means heavy, you've got the greatest thing ever, is that you've got the remembrance of God. Because those that have got the remembrance of God, then they will be a lot more conscious in the way they live. They'll be so careful what they put into their mouth and what they are going to eat now. Paatshah Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੋਯੰ ਤਨੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ that is your true wealth. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ oh little ant, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ being humble and having the remembrance of God is your true, is the wealth for you. That is your wealth. That is how we want to become wealthy, Sangat Ji. We want to become wealthy with being humble, and we want to become wealthy by having the remembrance of God. Because in the remembrance of God, there's no way that we will force ourselves on anyone else. There's no way we'll make people do things that they don't want to do by force. That is actually bringing pain and suffering to their life. So Paatshah Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਅਨੇਕ ਬਾਰ ਨਮੋ ਨਮః, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I, Guru Arjun Dev Ji Paatshah saying, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾਨਕ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this is what telling us, Guru Arjun Dev Ji Pachi is saying to us for to carry out and do. Kende anek baar, kende countless of times, kende namo namah, kende bow down to Vaheguru Ji. Remain humble. Remain humble within mind, remain humble with your speech, remain humble with action as well. Guru Arjan Dev Ji then they say, Kende Trinang na Trinang ta merang Sahakang ta haryang. Kende Trinang ta merang. So here we'll have to do the artha of the Akhirli Pankti first, of the last Pankti first. Binwant Nanak Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pachi Kende Har Gur Deyarang. Kende what power has the Gurus? That Guru, that is the Hari Roop. The Guru, that is the form of Vaheguru Ji Diyarang. What power has the Guru's mercy got in it? That when we give ourselves to the Guru and surrender to the Guru, what power has the Guru's mercy got in it? And this is the power. Kende kende trinang tamirang. Kende from being this weak blade of grass. Being like that blade of grass is that so weak that keep giving into our senses. Giving into those taste buds. Giving into that touch sense. Kende from that, when you bless me, when you shower me with your grace, what happens? Kende tamerang. Kende I become like a mountain. I become strong and stable like a mountain. Then I don't let these taste buds lure me. Then I eat only that what I actually require, what this body requires to be nourished with, because I realize that this actual life is to meet you, Vaheguru Ji. That I'm here to actually experience you, and by experiencing you, then serving the whole of humanity. Kende sehakang ta haryang. Kende when I've got your mercy, hey Satguru Ji, oh Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, when I've got your mercy, when I drop before you, when I fall before you in your feet, what will happen from sehakang? From being sehakang means from being completely dry. Imagine grass being burnt out, being completely dry. So being dry from inside. Being dry from inside, meaning that from inside feeling no anand, feeling no bliss, and always feeling down and having nothing to give to anyone, feeling low from inside. Can from feeling that lowness from inside, low in a negative way, not in a humility way, low meaning in a depressive way, and feeling down, can they feel, and then can they sukha pya, can they sahakang ta haryang, then that person with the Guru's mercy becomes completely lush and green, meaning becomes so full of joy from inside, and then that spreads that joy to everyone else. Kende budang ta taryang, kende that one that was drowning in their sins, kende now what happens with your mercy, Satguru Ji, when I fall before you, kende ta taryang, kende you help them to swim across. Those that were unang Sangaji means empty from inside, had no qualities. And I was talking about this to my wife today. I said that, you know, the most important thing that somebody has in their life are qualities. Are qualities like compassion inside of them. Because Sangaji, if somebody could be very intellect, somebody, maaf karna, let me rephrase that. That was some rubbish English there. Somebody can be very, somebody's intellect could be very sharp. Somebody could be a great intellectual. But pyareo, even if somebody is a doctor, but if they haven't got compassion inside of them, then they've got nothing, then they are empty. Doesn't matter how sharp their intellect is. Doesn't matter how much they know how something works. Doesn't matter how much they know about this body. Doesn't matter if it's a mechanic and they know about your car. Doesn't matter if it's a doctor that knows about your body. Doesn't matter if it's a solicitor or a lawyer that knows about law. Because if they've got no gun, if they're empty from inside, gone from compassion, they will be the ones that are the most dangerous people within this world, that cause the most. They will be the ones that cause the most destruction in this world. Because they are so sharp, but if have got hatred inside of them, but they are sharp. Very clever, but they've got hatred inside of them. They will cause the most problems in this world, more than anyone else. A doctor without daya, what are they doing today? A doctor, Sangat Ji, that has got these demerits inside of them. A doctor that has got greed inside of their mind. That Pachaji is saying that those that have become impure from their mind with greed, Sache Pachaji de man ka sutak lobh hai. Those that have become filthy with greed inside, those doctors, very clever, plenty of knowledge, intellect is very sharp, but if they've got greed inside, what are those doctors doing? Without daya, without compassion, if they're empty from inside, especially in India, Sangaji, a patient comes to them and they don't tell the family the truth, what's wrong with them. They could have been fixed easily, but they wanted some extra money. So they took their organs out and they sold them. And sometimes they'll tell the family that your loved one is still alive and they're on a machine, a life support machine. So they continue to take more money off that family, but that person might actually be dead. And they continue to empty them out and sell their organs on. That's what it means to be unang, that's what it means to be empty. Khali andro and nirai khali pyareo. Kende ta pariyang, but when the Guru ne mehr karni, but when the Guru showers us with their grace from their mercy, because grace comes from mercy, and then Sangaji, mercy comes from us falling. When the Guru sees that we have fallen, even though we from empty, they make us pariyang, they fill us with qualities from inside. From before being completely stubborn like a rock inside, now my heart melts whenever I see any suffering. That's what the Guru does to us. From being completely ignorant and not having no knowledge that the light of God is sitting inside of everyone. What happens? The Guru lights our mind up with court, with millions, Sangaji, with millions of suns, illuminates us, meaning shows us so much that I wasn't able to understand and perceive before. That what I wasn't able to see before, now everything starts to become clear. How this whole game is working. Kende Binavante Nanak Guru Arjun Dev Ji Pachaji say, Kende Har Gur Dayarang. Kende when we receive the Guru's mercy, Sangaji. And then Pachaji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pachaji go on to say, Kende Brahmane Sang Udaranang. Kende when we meet a true Brahman is who? Pachaji saying, remember, a Brahman is normally is referring to somebody that is very learned of the Vedas, a scholar. But this here isn't Pachaji talking about a scholar. Who are they talking about? They're saying we can be saved with the true Brahmin. And who is that? Kende Brahma Karma Je Purana. Those that have become Purana, complete and perfect themselves. Perfect like what? Kende Brahma Karma. Their each action is now in line with Brahm, in line with the Creator, with Vaheguru Ji, Sangat Ji. Now they have gone beyond, just like Pachaji Kende Sukh Dukh Jahe Parse Nahi. Those that are not afflicted by now with Sukh, with pleasure, they're not taken by, they don't end up sinning because of pleasure in their life. Kende Sukh Dukh Sangaji, because of that pleasure, like we went through, somebody ends up even forcing themselves upon somebody else and having a physical relationship with somebody even without their consent. And that could be even sexual abuse amongst, with child sexual abuse as well. Because they don't even know what's happening to them, so they're not even able to give consent. So, Pyareo, and then Pachaji is saying here, Kende Brahma Karmang Jai Purana. Kende here, but those that have now Sukh, that have gone above Sukh, above pleasures, Sukh Dukh, they've gone beyond even pain of suffering. That pain means, Sangat Ji, that they may have now committed sin because of pain, because they're going through a difficult time in life. So then they give somebody else pain as well. Sukh Dukh, they don't let painful events affect them in their life. They might be going through chronic bodily pain, but they don't let it come in their way in their life. some people, if they live with chronic pain, they're very short-fused, very little tolerance. Their children or anyone, even a little bit, their partner, they say even something little to them and they bite at them because their tolerance has dropped so much because of chronic pain. But those that have gone beyond their pain, they don't allow their mind to be affected by that pain. They still remain in sahaj. They still remain balanced. Sukh dukh jeh parse nahi lobh. Those minds that aren't taken over by greed, like those doctors that sell those organs. Lobh, moh, attachment, abhiman, pride. Sangat ji, kaho nanak sun re mana. Paachis kende, hey, my mind, listen. Kende, who are they? So Murit Bhagavan. Kende, they are the form of God. Kende, God. That is actually God working through them now. You are not experiencing their ego now. You are experiencing Vaheguru Ji through them now. Pyaro Brahmane Sang Udaranang. When you meet somebody like that, you will be saved in their company. Guru Arjun Dev Ji Paach Ji say, Kende kende Atam Ratang Sansar Gahang Te Nar Nanak Nehphale. Paach Ji kende Atam Ratang. But those that are actually imbued in following what their mind is saying instead of the Guru, and they are so attached and they're holding on to the pleasures of this world. Those beings, those humans, Nanak, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, their life has gone fruitless. Their life has been a complete waste. So Sangat Ji, there's 2 more sloks left, which will complete tomorrow, and then that will be the samapti, Sangat Ji, of this Bani of Salok Sehaskriti Pyaryo. May Satguru Ji Sache Paatshah Ji allow this Bani to actually go deep inside of us, so that it can actually completely alter our life, so that it can actually completely change our life in the way we actually look at things. Let Satguru Ji Paatshah Ji's their mercy pour into our lives, so that we can go beyond the pleasures of these senses, and that we can truly fulfill our purpose of meeting Vaheguru Ji through pure dedication, devotion and Naam Bhakti, Sangat Ji, and having that yearning inside, and then serving the rest of Vaheguru Ji's creation. So please forgive me for my mistakes. So tomorrow will be the last Katha of Salok Sehaskriti, Sangat Ji. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.